Good morning. Oh man. Yeah. Anyway, welcome back. Another week here. Short week this week. We got Christmas on Friday, so we're gonna keep polishing on that a little bit this week. But look, see those boxes? My heater came, or not heater, fan. My ventilation fan. I don't remember what day I ordered that. Tuesday or Wednesday, but it came on Saturday. Pretty good. So we've got our thermostat, shield, and the fan. So hopefully we can work on getting that installed here today. Yeah, maybe today. Let's open our boxes up and see what this thing looks like. Well, I don't know if it instills confidence in the product when it's packed with newspaper, but you do what you got to do, right? This should be our thermostat. Yeah, let's bring it over here. Yeah, not a thermostat, speed control. Okay, this box is our weather shield hood that goes on the outside. Guess that one's a fan. We all knew that, didn't we? Well, cool. This ought to work. Don't really need to get it out right now, but direct drive motor, fan, got shutters to retain some heat, hopefully, and it should fit in our opening up there. It fit, barely, but it fit. All right, so we got to take this out and change the forks to the bucket. These things, they latch with these latches. That bar down there is bent. Some of the stuff is it's not great, so it's a little difficult, but we'll get it. That's what our hammer is for. I picked it up so that it would be loose and not set in the ground, and managed to get that one up. That one seems to be staying okay. We'll drive this out and drop this. It kind of hooks in on the top here, so it'll stay for us to get to where we're going. Somewhere out back here is our bucket. We'll find somewhere to dump these forks off. Okay, well, they're off. And we do have a bucket sitting right there, but we've also got another bucket over here around the corner that is quite a bit bigger than that one. This is our snow pushing bucket. My uncle built it. It's homemade, specifically for pushing snow. So since it's winter and I'm not really lifting anything heavy, stone or anything like that, we're gonna put the big one on. I know you can't see very good, but basically we've got to line up with the pins on the bucket. Try and hook it. Yeah, I missed, but we're going to back it up over a little bit. I got one side in, but I didn't get the other side. There. Okay, so I got it on, but we got to get those latches to lock in yet. They definitely are not even close. It's got the ground a little uneven over here, but it's close enough we can take it back over by the shop and work on it over there. It's sitting there. You just got to kind of wiggle it around a little bit, get it to fall into place. If I pull these up, that will help get it into place. Well, I was doing good until it fell off. Yeah, it's going to take me a minute in two hands, and you can't see anything anyway. Alright, I decided I needed something to push on. Push the bottom of that bucket onto that bar to latch it in place. So I'm going to find a concrete wall. The top pins are in where they're supposed to be. I just can't get the bottom to fall into place, and I just need to push the bottom in. So we're gonna do this nice and slow. Get the bucket relatively flat and just squarely ease up to our wall here. Come on. There it goes. At least the one side. Let's check it. That one's in, the other one's not. Okay, well, we're close. Now I got it. So now when I dump the bucket, you can see right there and right there, there's them latches are latched onto that bar, so it won't fall off when I do this. Okay, now let's go clean our drain out. Okay, so I've got 2 steel plates on this for a cover sitting on top of some C-channels. We're gonna take them all apart and or off, and then we can get in there and I'll show you that better. That one's heavy. This one, not so heavy. Yummy. All right, well, there's our sump. All of that dirt can come out of there, and then you can see on the side we've got a tile that's shaped down so that the water has to come up and under it, and it gives time for everything to settle out so it doesn't get into the drain, the tile. But we gotta shovel all that stuff out into our bucket. Well, I've lowered it by about 1 foot or more. We got a pile of crap out of there. I'm gonna get the hose and spray it down a little bit, and we should be good. So for the past 2 days, I've been getting an email from FedEx telling me that they couldn't deliver this package because the business was closed. I'm not here ever. Like, ever. And it was a Saturday and a Sunday to boot, and I was their last delivery attempt today, and I had to type a note to the door here that says, "It's popcorn, just leave it." And they did. Some things baffle me. Why they wouldn't just leave the package. Well, whatever. I mean, we're out here. Yeah, whatever. It's fine, I got it. And it's just popcorn. It's not that big a deal. So, let's go open it up, though. You guys make everything difficult. Cool. Aha. This is the good stuff. This, I think they call this Buckeye popcorn. Chocolate and peanut butter. Good stuff. Okay, back to this. It appears I have a bigger problem than just the sump being plugged, because that water should not be above the tile. It is going down. You can see there's a ring on there where the dirt was, so I'm gonna let it keep draining, and then we're gonna have to poke into that tile and see if it's plugged in, what's going on there. This is gonna turn into a bigger project, but anyway, we'll let that sit for now. I need to go get our scaffolding so that we can work up there. So we're gonna take the forklift and go bring it in here. That should be what we need. Well, that ought to work. So I suppose the first step of framing this fan in or getting it up there is figuring out exactly where the opening is going to be, getting our insulation out of the way. And we're going to have to cut a hole in the outside steel, do some measuring, make sure everything's going to fit the way we want it to. Yeah. So I was just checking our framing a little bit here, and we're about 20 inches across from on the insides of these studs, just over 20 inches. So that's good because we need a 19 by 19, so we actually need to shim one side in and put an inch spacer on it. My concern here is our depth. If I stick this between that, we're 9.5 inches deep to the outside of the rib of the steel, because this foam's got to get cut out, and then we're gonna have to put a piece across to frame the other half of the box. But I'm concerned that it's not going to stick through far enough, and that we actually need to frame it in farther, because I think it's about 6 inches was supposed to be your wall thickness. So we may need to modify up here more than I was hoping, but I'll figure that out, I guess. I just needed to know where we're starting from. Yeah, see, that is 6.5 deep to this flange that should sit on the outside of our stud, so it won't stick through the wall all the way. So I got to figure out what to do about that, whether we frame it in farther so it sits out, or we put some framing back here. I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to Dad, figuring out what we're gonna do for that fan opening and stuff there. We got a pretty good idea. I'm gonna work on it when I get back this afternoon. I got a few errands to run and some lunch to eat, and we'll be back. All right, well, I'm back, and I'm back to this project. I got one of the pieces of foam out of here, and you can see we've got some condensation. This is what we're trying to get rid of by putting an exhaust fan in. So I have decided that we're going to put the fan at the top of this opening. So we're going to need a piece to go across here to support it and to frame it into. And then we're also going to need probably a 1-inch wide piece to run on the side to get the right framing size to get down to our 19 by 19. And what we're going to do is put the fan flush here with the lip that it mounts on. It'll stick through to somewhere in here, and then we're going to kind of frame the rest of this in and put a flat 2x6 or something behind this tin, because we're going to have to cut it past this rib and past the rib on the other side to make a big enough opening for that fan, or that weather shroud that goes on the outside. And so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I think we can make it work. I've got to get this out, or at least part of it, and we're going to have to cut it. And yeah, the tin on the outside is actually attached to the metal purlins or whatever on the framing of the building. The studs that Dad put in here don't go all the way out. There's that 2-inch gap in there that's got all this styrofoam in it, and that is there's insulation, thermal break. It works really well. This building is extremely well insulated, but yeah, it makes it a little bit more of a challenge for framing this in and everything, because now we got that gap and deep wall to deal with. All right, well, we're getting there. Wet, that's not a good thing. Yeah. Okay, so now what? I guess I need to measure here, figure out where our board's got to go across, get something the exact right length cut so we can get that put in there. And we'll have to keep framing from there. We're going to have to get a hole cut in our steel. I don't know if I'm quite ready to do that yet, because I don't really want a big open hole there if I'm not going to get the fan mounted tonight. I found this piece. It's almost exactly 1 inch thick, and will work to go up our one side to kind of shim our opening. I was trying to find a good piece to go across the bottom. I found that one that I could cut, and there's some other stuff. I might wait till Dad gets back and see what he's got, but he's got wood piled everywhere. There's got to be something good here. Maybe even the scrap pile underneath. Some of those pieces, maybe. I don't know. So, as it turns out, this stud on this side is not straight. Not straight at all. I put this board up here and it was tight on the bottom up to about there, and then it curved way out. There was a big gap. It's still got a gap. I kind of drew it in with the screws, and so now we've got just over 19. If I can show it on the bottom here, 19 and 3/16, but when we get to the top, we're a good 19 and a quarter or better, 3/8. Yeah, it's okay. It's not something that has to be that exact for what we're doing. It's just we need something to be able to hit that corner lag bolt on the fan into. On this side, we may have to trim this OSB back a little bit, notch it and cut it up, take a couple nails out just to give us enough of a flange and a lip to set that flange on. But the top should be good, and then we'll put a board across here for it to hit. There. All right, I'm switching projects again. My water level has gone down to at least the level of the tile. So this tile is open on the bottom. It makes a 90-degree turn there and goes down. I just tried to feel in there with that glove, and the bottom of that tile has got a bunch of crap in it. I don't know if just getting it out of there is going to fix this or not, but it's where we got to start. And unfortunately, that glove's not big enough. I don't know if I have anything that's going to work better, so we get to stick my hand in there. This is not going to be fun. Ugh. Yummy. Think that's from the combine? I'd say. Now the question is, did that solve it or not? There's nothing more I can reach. That could have been worse. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It feels like it's open now, and the water level there is at the bottom of the tile, so it's not going to drain. The bottom of this is all pea stone and gravel, so it will infiltrate down through there, but very, very slowly, because we're on clay and it just doesn't have anywhere to go. So the only way to really see if that chunk was what was actually clogging it up is to fill it back up. See if it fills up or not. See if it just drains. That's yeah. It should just drain. We'll see what happens here. If it drains, then we can put our covers back on and be done. Well, I've had the water running for 10 minutes. The level has not come up hardly at all, so I guess that solved it. Cool. Well, that was easier than I was afraid it was going to be. So, we can put the cover back on here. We can take that out and dump it, get rid of that mess, and then we can focus on our exhaust fan up there. I need to get the forklift over here. I'm going to need to lift everything up there, so that's why I wanted to get this where I can get it covered back up and not worry about dropping a forklift tire into my hole. Looks like my board's kind of in rough shape, but its only job is to keep those two C-channels from sliding together and off of my concrete lip there, so it'll be okay. There. Cool. My scaffolding is taller than my door, so I got to roll it out of the way. And I'm going to dump this wheelbarrow in that bucket before I take it out of here. I suppose I should clean up this pile while I'm here. Yuck. Like a glove-ish. It's too wide. I gotta trim it. Dang it. I forgot to do that. I knew I needed to. I just forgot. I got the length right, though. So, we'll come out here to our table saw. We need 8 1/4 inches. be right about there. That way. Looks like we need to raise the blade. There. Okay, let's try this again. I want it to go like this. It's not exactly a straight board, she's got a little warp to it, but like I said before, we just need it to be close. Okay, I think that'll work. I should probably pull this side out a little bit. Right. That ought to work. And we're just going to toenail it in. Okay, that will work. All right, I've got my framing in. I'm running into a little bit of trouble though here. So this rib, valley of a rib, is right in the center, which I thought was a good thing, but it's not, because these ribs are a foot on center, and we need 23 inches for our weather shield that's going to go outside, which means with a 2-inch wide rib, if I was to cover 3 of them, we're at 26 inches, and that's too wide. So it's going to be right in the middle of these 2 ribs where I would need to cut it, and I don't want that on the outside. So we're going to have to shift it a little bit. I drilled these holes in the upper corners, and I think if I cut straight down from this one, it's almost exactly 23 inches to the seam. Right here, the edge of this sheet is right on the other side of that rib, and so if I can cut right on that seam from the outside, and then straight across the top and down from this hole, that should be what I need. So then I just need to frame in and fill in this gap, and then I need a piece that kind of fits in here with a 2x6 attached to it that will be flush against the siding for something to screw into on that side. I think that will work, or maybe, I don't know, I gotta measure how much I got here. It's like 2 5/8, I think. Be a thick board to just put one in there, or maybe double up a couple of thin pieces. I don't know, we'll see, but I think that's what's gonna happen. I may have to move this piece over to here to keep it a little bit more centered in the hole if I can, the hole in the siding, but it shouldn't matter. There's some play there. We've got plenty of room. Yeah. So the other thing that I'm going to fight here on the outside, there's an electric line right where I need to work. That's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we'll work around it as best we can. I hung the steel up there with that, so I don't know if you guys can see it, but right there are my holes, so that's going to be the top corners of our fan. Should fit well above that wire. We just got to be able to get up in there and work on it. So, all right, I'm getting this framed up. I moved my board over. I got one across the top here, and I got one to fill in this gap. We're getting closer. We need to fill this gap in yet. I decided I'm going to get either 1 or 2 boards. I need it to be 2 3/4 inches thick and 5 inches deep to get past that seam. But those ones will be a lot easier to screw in once I cut this out, because then I can screw from the outside into the edge of this stud here. So I can cut them, but I'm not going to put them in right now. Yeah, and then we'll be ready to cut this, but I don't think I'm going to get to that today, because it is, yeah, almost 4 o'clock, and I got to pick my boys up at 4:45, so I got to get out of here a little early today. But I'm going to find these boards and get them cut, and then tomorrow we'll plan on actually cutting the hole and getting everything installed. The other thing is, those boards are going to go past the edge of what we're cutting. These other ones, I'm kind of using them as a framing guide, so I can use that as my guide of where I want to cut the steel, right on the edge of the board, across the top, this side, and even the bottom here. So I'm thinking that I might be able to use a Sawzall blade from the outside and just run it right along this edge. Otherwise it was going to be a cutoff wheel, and that might work too. But either way, these boards will give me a guide. That one will be in the way, so I want to wait until I get it cut out before I put those boards in. I am assuming they use this same hood for multiple fans, which is why it's so much bigger than our fan. This is a 16-inch bladed fan, but it's a 19 by 19 framing size, and this piece measures 23 inches across. So we've got quite a bit of play. It'll sit up there something like this. Actually, it's going to be way out here. So it should work pretty good, and that's why it's not a big deal that our boards are going to cover up part of the hole there. But what I want to happen is for these flanges to sit inside of the siding. So the siding will come down outside this edge to seal it up good, and we'll sit over this, and then we'll screw the siding and everything right through there into the boards. So we got to cut it to this size, but we can cover some of it up on the inside just as long as our fan fits. Okay, there's my boards for that other side. 2 of them together, they're 2 3/4, just about exactly what I wanted. And we can screw one of them, probably this one, into that stud, and then we can screw this one to it and screw our tin and our shroud to that board then. So that should work. All right, that's as far as I'm going to go on that today. All right, so tomorrow we'll move our scaffolding outside. We'll have to take the top section off, roll it out the door, put the top section back on, and then very, very carefully, we're going to work around that wire, but we'll cut our hole in the steel, and then we'll set our fan in. Well, yeah, we'll see. We might work from the outside and try and get our shroud up, and then we'll set our fan in from the inside. We'll have to move back and forth with the scaffolding a little bit. But we should get it in there. I doubt we'll get it wired tomorrow, but we should get it in there. This fan, the one that we got, we decided to go with a 230 volt system. So we're going to run a 230 circuit up there, and it's got a variable speed control for it as well. So that should work out pretty well, and it shouldn't really take that much. It says to use 14 gauge wire, which is nothing. But it's got a third of a horsepower motor on it, so I'll probably run 12 gauge just because that's what we do. And we're going to put it in conduit. I don't know, I'll have to get some conduit, I suppose, either 3/4 or probably 1/2 inch would suffice, but we'll probably get 3/4 inch and run it up there. Our electrical panel is right in the corner there, so it's pretty straightforward, a couple of curves, and shouldn't be too hard to do. But that is my plan for tomorrow. Brock will be here, so we're going to let him keep working on cleaning up this tractor a little bit. We'll get the foam cannon out. We'll do some scrubbing with rags and stuff and get that cleaned up. And then I've got to get some good rubbing compound and our buffer out and maybe some new buffing pads, and we're going to clean the heck out of it and shine it up, and maybe by Wednesday we'll be able to get our ceramic coat on there, but we got to get it cleaned up really well before we do that. Once you put the ceramic coating on, it kind of traps in whatever defects and imperfections are on the paint. They're there. So the better job we can do to prep it, the better job we'll do overall, and the better it will look. So yeah, so that's tomorrow's plan. And then, like I said, we'll be here Wednesday to work on whatever it is, whether it's wiring or this tractor. And then on Thursday and Friday, Christmas Eve and Christmas, I'm not planning on working, so there won't be any videos then. However, I am trying and thinking about putting together a year in review video, kind of like I did last year. I have not started on that yet, so whether I could get it done by maybe Saturday, I don't know. We'll see, but I do have that intention of putting something together at some point here, so we'll see how it goes. Hi, I've got to go pick up my boys tonight, and so I'm going home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm going to get them. A little early, but that's okay, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. So have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, questions, comments down below. See you again tomorrow.